The Roaring Twenties. Jazz, flappers in the Charleston. Prohibition came into law, but that didn't stop the party. Speakeasies and back rooms opened their hidden doors and let not only the booze flow freely, but the creativity. Writers, poets, and artists came together en masse to create some of America's proudest classics. Margot Rourke, the least known and only female member of the New York City witticism group The Boys Club, was perhaps the most prolific of the bunch.
The Boys Club was a collection of the most erudite humorists and writers of the time, an exclusive clique of the sharpest wits.
Like many born at the turn of the century, Margot Rourke had big aspirations. She wanted to be a rich and famous writer and performer.
The Boys Club? Now, we're talking about the writers Frederick O. Malloy, Robert Hunsley, adventure man William Willies, Huey Hudson, and noted dandy Hayweller Brownbottom. All of them men. You see, the Boys Club was a men's club. That name was already taken by a local bathhouse, so the men decided they preferred boys.
Margot knew that the only way she could enter the Boys Club was to work there as a cigarette girl.
And that's the end of the joke.
Every time.
Would anyone like a packet of cigarettes or some candy?
I would like to comb your hair. In the nude.
You making a pass at me, sir?
Yes. Nakedly.
What booze drink for my friend Hunsley?
Well, it's always been my experience that boys seldom make passes at girls who pass gases.
With that very toot, Margot gave birth to a new kind of comedy. American fart comedy.
They accepted her right after that night, brought her right into the club.
Within 24 hours of arriving in New York City, Margot farted on some of the greatest literary minds in the world. That was Margot.
They had never seen a woman like her, who talked like her, who made them laugh. They embraced her, even if they did make her wear a fake mustache for the first 6 months.
Sorry I'm late, gentlemen.
We were all talking about how you can't keep it in your pants.
Do you mean my penis?
No, I mean your pocket watch.
Oh, Margot, you are brash. so brash.
Margot was soon hired by one of the seediest magazines as an outspoken columnist.
Now, Margot wrote about all sorts of subjects: drinking, socializing, traveling, good places to go to drink while traveling, writing. She wrote about writing and wrote about drinking and drank while writing about both.
It wasn't Margot's ambition to just be a writer, however. Margot wanted to perform. Specifically, Margot wanted to perform the juvenile songs about poo-poo she wrote.
I stood up from the bowl, turned around, and there was nothing there.
Impossible. You were in there for 30 minutes. You should have been sitting on a fecal Kilimanjaro.
You may not be able to produce the offending floater, but I certainly can detect the odor.
Yes, exactly. I do have a stooly stench swirling around me. But I tell you again, there was no turd to be found.
Are you sure you don't mean no furred? To be towned?
Yes, well played. But I assure you there was nothing there. I mean, what would you call something like that?
Gentlemen, I think I've got it. When you feel it in your rectum, but it's not in the bone. That's what I call a ghost duty. It's just a spooky little poopy, but it's invisible. That's what I call a ghost duty.
Is it gonna be me, Hay Wallow Brownbottom, who is the first to coin the phrase, awkward?
The boys were comfortable with Margot writing potty humor, but when she sang it, they felt she had gone too far.
Nobody wants to hear a woman talk about her poop shoot. I mean, even the word poop shoot.
All the boys were sitting around writing silly songs, having a gay old time, when Margot was about to pen a classic.
You know, I have been working on a diarrhea song for some time, but haven't quite been able to catch the fire. You boys wouldn't happen to be able to give me a hand, would you?
Diarrhea, diarrhea.
No, I think it needs to be simpler, you know, something like when you're climbing up a ladder and you feel something splatter. Diarrhea. Diarrhea. It repeats.
Margot, please leave. Out!
You know what, fellas? That really wasn't a bad song.
It was lovely.
Oh, indeed.
I was jealous. That was obvious.
Clear.
Well, of course, nowadays everyone sings the diarrhea song, but this was the year 1920 fun. And a line was drawn in the sand, and by sand I mean diarrhea, and women were not supposed to cross that line.
Is a diarrhea song listed as being written by a woman? I tried to add that entry 43 times to Wikipedia, and 43 times the entry was denied. It's an American classic. Of course they want to believe it was written by a man.
Banned from every nightclub in the city, she became an exile of New York. And so, like a great deal other American trailblazers looking for new frontiers, Margot headed west.
She started over as a screenwriter.
She was very close to writing a feature film for the biggest movie star of the day, Fatty Arbuckle. But that was unfortunately just before the scandal hit. By the scandal, of course, I mean the OK Ottlebay up the Aginavay, which I'm not exaggerating when I say was worse than 1,000,000 9/11s.
Margot began experiencing severe mental breakdowns and ultimately could only find work singing in rundown cabarets in the valley.
Shits and giggles, moves and wiggles, shits and giggles, hey, hey. Shits and giggles, like bread and pickles, keeps me feeling okay.
It was a crisp December morning when Margot was found dead in an alley just behind her own apartment.
The official police report concluded that she had slipped on some novelty doo-doo she kept in her pocket. She fell and broke her back. It was her greatest and saddest joke. But it wasn't a joke, though, because it was how she died.
Lost in time, but a pioneer nonetheless. A trailblazer. Margot Bertha Rourke, the Lewis and Clark of poopy songs.
When you're climbing up a ladder, but you're feeling something splatter. Diarrhea, 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 cha-cha-cha. When your tummy starts a-rolling and you're cleaning out your colon. Diarrhea, 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 cha-cha-cha.